Hello, everyone. We are live. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I just want to make sure if y'all guys see me looking down, I am just checking because sometimes it's a delay from uh, broadcasting live, especially here when you're going through a platform like StreamYard. So it does look like we are finally live. If you come in, please let me know where you guys are actually viewing from. Even if you watch this a little later on, just drop it in the comments. And tonight, we're going to talk about how to increase your credit scores and your income. So, hopefully, this is going to be a pack filled with information for you. This is the get it out of the mud. No long a hashtag no more getting it out the mud challenge. So we're trying to give you ideas on things that you can do to work in community in order to increase your credit scores and increase your revenue. So bringing in 8 more people to these lives on Saturday that you can work and build your own MLM, and that's more of a me, building your own economy and people that you are working with. Now, one of the things as a suggestion I want to talk about tonight on increasing your income, it's going to be me tonight. Diamond is not going to be with me. She had actually an event tonight that she had to go to, but we talk about how as a family we worked in what was called the field inspection business. Now, if you guys never heard about this, field inspections is an industry that works all around you. I just dropped a link on my backup channel where I have just recently dropped a video explaining the different types of field inspections. But when it comes down to field inspections, you can do this as your own business, as an independent contractor. And as I tell you guys, I'll be dropping a video tomorrow about some changes that banks are making with credit scores. It's going to be very important that you can show and demonstrate as much income as possible to help you for approvals, especially with a lot of changes in the economy. A lot of people have a lot of credit card debt and just debt in itself, especially now with inflation being high in the last couple of years. Now even people living and housing costs is a little higher. So and it's some other developments I will get into later. Probably on in a week, I'm going to make a video. It's some things you guys need to watch out, even in the housing sector. So there is a bubble. So hopefully it's not going to be another 2008, but some of the numbers is looking that way. Honestly and truthfully, it's a lot of things that's been going on, and it's quite concerning. And some programs that used to be available may not be available to even buy a home, especially with FHA. And that's how a lot of first time home buyers have gotten in the market. So it's very important now for approvals that you show a lot of income. So field inspections is something that I started in, and I was actually, it was back in December of 2000, actually 2012. And once I discovered this, I was able to leave my job and I start working and doing those part-time, and I made more money than what I was making per hour at a job. And as being a single mother at that time, it gave me flexibility to drop my kids off at school, and I was able to pick them up. And if they had any events, I was able to go to those events. And with field inspections, there is various of types and categories you can work in with the sector. And I break it down in a video, but with field inspections, we started to do that as a group. Even me and Diamond, once she got her license with a lot of these companies, if you're forthcoming, a lot of them want you to take on more work in territories. believe it or not. I was working in what's called the mortgage industry, and the one company actually knew that Diamond was doing inspections for me. She got her license, and they started adding on profiles for her. And a lot of times with the mortgage industry, you will need to get a background check because you're working with bank sensitive kind of information. And it's going to be on the it's really going to be dealing with homes that may be in pre foreclosure status, or people are behind on their mortgages. So they do, they are going to do a background check because, like I said, this is bank sensitive information. And me and her, I was getting to work, and there was times where she had her own actual portal that they had established for her, and we would be able to transfer the work over if I wasn't able to do the work, and I would pay her for going out to do the inspections. And with those, you pretty much ride by the home and take about 7 to 8 pictures. And then sometimes you do have to just leave a door hanger because the bank is trying to get in contact with the homeowner to see if they can work out something for them to catch up on their mortgage payments. So we started there, and we were working that together. So it allowed me to get more territory. And also my nephew, in the summertime, when he was off, because they started doing this with me actually in high school because they had their license. And so they made him a portal, and it was great because I could go on vacations, and I had them doing the inspections for me. And it was great for them because being teenagers, they were getting paid. So that's how it was. But one thing that's always important in business, especially as working as an independent contractor, you always have to go in the mindset that these people were my clients. So I wasn't working for anybody. And a lot of times where people look at things wrong, when you're working as an independent contractor, they think they're an employee. You are not an employee. You are running your own business, and you need to have that attitude. And so, one of the things that you need to do if you are trying to excel, especially with just taking steps to launch out a business, you have to make sure that you're presenting yourself in a right way. And with this company, the door is always open because we made sure that we were professional when doing it. So always remember, you guys, when you're doing certain things, I know maybe DoorDash is set up a little different, but the industry of field inspections is very small. So if one company uh find out and you kind of burn a company, they all know each other. It's all in one industry, and it can really burn your reputation. So we made sure when we were working together, we made sure things was gotten on in time, because a lot of these inspections are going to have a date. And then even with me and Diamond, um, I start getting more on the insurance side. So there's mortgage, and then there's insurance. The insurance sides pay a lot more. And with the insurance side, um, we will set up the appointment, and you're going to most likely work with a business owner, far as restaurants, inspection. A lot of those restaurants is really big, and they have their liability insurance and their insurance just in case the place for damage set on fire. The banks, in order for that business to have that insurance and to keep that policy enforced, they want you to go in and take some required pictures. And so with that industry, you'll find a lot of times it's not cookie cutter. Every insurance company had their own forms and their own requirements. So certain things will be basic. And with restaurants, They want you to make sure that you find an extinguisher. They should have a silver or what we call a K-rated extinguisher. Every restaurant should have a gas shutoff. It's a switch that just in case a fire break out, you got a lot of gas running through there. It should be a switch that they should be able to pull and the gas cut off, or the whole place can go up in flames. And that needs to be serviced. And also that fire extinguisher need to be serviced. And any of those vents, if you look at a restaurant, they have over in the hood what is called an ANSOL system. And it's a fire extinguish system, because a lot of fires that happens in restaurants are grease fires. So you got to make sure that that is being serviced. So they do have a picture that they want you to take on the hood. And this thing should be serviced. So if you're dealing with Chinese restaurants and a lot of restaurants, like if it's a place that sell fried chicken and that, it's a lot of grease and a lot of fires that happen with restaurant or hamburgers, especially if it has like fries and things like that. There are a lot of grease fires, and that system need to be cleaned every 3 months. And also, of course, all of us should expect, if you have a restaurant, it needs to be some extermination at least once a month or every 2 weeks. So you want to get that information. That's one of the standard things that's in that restaurant inspection. And certain things, I'll be doing a video on my backup channel on that if you're interested on learning how to do those. When you are in the kitchen, if you know the flat grills that they have, and then you have eyes that you might have pots, they need to have a panel between there, and it's going to be a stainless steel panel, because you don't want grease jumping over on the flame. And especially deep fryers, there need to be a panel there. So it's certain things that you could pretty much catch it with your own natural eye if you got common sense. And there's certain pictures that they will just standardly let you know what you need to be looking for. You need to point that out with the insurance company. So you would be working in as the eyes and ears for the insurance company. And many a times, if that customer do not make those changes, they're going to send you back out, and you get paid both times. And a lot of those restaurant inspections, depending on how many pages they want you to fill out, it's probably like $35 to about $50 to do those inspections. And it probably take you about like 10 to 15 minutes. The owner is there 10 to 15 minutes, because you're going in to take pictures. And once you got it really much down pat, it's going to be probably about like the same type of thing. I had made my own forms, so I would just fill them out. And honestly and truthfully, I got to a point, Diamond went out and took the pictures, and I had I had some assistants that overseas. I had in the Philippines, they were actually, I just taught them how to do the reports, and they was doing the reports for me. So it was pretty much automated. I just let them know, we'll take a picture or scan the forms up there, drop it in Dropbox, and they was filling it out. So I kind of had it I had it set up where it was just automatic, and sometimes I wasn't going out. She would go out, and she would go ahead and fill out the inspections there, meet with business owners. And that's how we were doing that. And they also have the residential. If you are a homeowner and your insurance company ever tell you somebody is going to come out and take pictures of your property for your renewal, that's the same category as field inspections. So you can do this. And if you work together, especially as a family or somebody that you can be in partnership with, you guys can make a lucrative income We made just with the field inspections, and then we went on to property preservations, with my dad doing the cuts. I was doing the inspections. Diamond Trey was working with him in the long cut. We were making over 200,000 a year. The grass season alone, we made like 90,000, probably about like 4 or 5 months running that. So we was running crews, but of course, you don't get there overnight. You add on as you learn, but a part of our success was working together in partnership. So not only my income, when I found it increased, I made sure I brought everybody on, and the whole family was able to increase um, pretty much in their pockets. So, is there people that you can work with? Um, Even if you have a friend, my friend Michelle Peters, she was the one that introduced me to this. And so that's where I started. And then that's where sometimes you guys might have saw Manny. He came up. That's where I met Manny. And Manny actually put me on to the grass cuts. That's how we got into that. And when I get probably on that backup channel, I'll talk about another thing that Manny introduced me into in that same arena is premium audits. You guys can get paid by doing that, premium audits. And what all of this that I'm mentioning, you don't need license at all. There's no license requirements. I used to sell insurance. I actually used to be an insurance adjuster, and I pretty much had to let my license go because working for a homeowner, having an insurance adjuster's license, and working for insurance companies to go out and inspect, it was a conflict of interest. So, in order for me to stay on that side, I had to let my insurance license go, and I had to actually pay for that. And the cool part about doing these field inspections, unlike my licenses on the insurance side, being an insurance agent and having what we call a producer license, I had to constantly go for continual education credits. So you constantly got to update. And having an adjuster's license, I had to be bonded and insured with the state. So the great thing about why I said I might as well do the inspections over here, I didn't have to meet those requirements that caused me to do self study and take these tests, and I have to pay, and I had to renew my license with a couple of states I was carrying license with just to be an insurance agent. Because once you get one license, I had Connecticut, New York mirror itself, New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. Pretty much, you get licensed one place, you can go on and pay the fees and get the license the other places. But I didn't have to keep paying those freaking fees every 2 years. And I was making the money. When you have insurance, being an agent or life insurance, you got to go and get your own business. I ain't had to get my own business anymore. I ain't have to go and sell and get business. The banks was just giving me the business. So I didn't even have to hustle as hard. And I know hustling real hard with selling life insurance is a hard sell. But I was, getting my sales. I was getting my money doing that with common sense. But jumping on this side, I didn't have to buy client. I ain't have to have clients. A lot of y'all, if y'all had your insurance license, you got to do self-study. You got to sit in a classroom in New Jersey for like 40 hours just to get that, or your real estate license. This is something you ain't have to get no license for. I even had my daughter at 18, teenage daughter out there getting money with me. So you have to see opportunities and see if you can work together with other people around you. It might not be your child, it might be a friend, or it might be an associate. So see how you can make partnerships, because a lot of us is too independent a lot of time, but it's a glass ceiling working by yourself. So if you can find different things, we also talked about SharTown. That's another one. I think I did a video on that. If I need to, I'll drop another video. With SharTown, we talked about these are a lot of these when you have like mattresses or things that are dropped off and people are buying and they don't like the product could be brand new. These companies don't even want to pay for the shipping anymore to pick it up. So SharTown, they allow you to go pick it up and then you can sell it. All they ask many of times is just $250 for the sale of that product. But when you're talking about king size mattresses, queen size mattresses, even some box springs, when you look at the price of how much even that mattresses and furniture is running, you can keep the rest on top by just posting this simply on Facebook Marketplace or other platforms to sell this stuff, and you can get the rest that you sell it on top and give them that $250, and you only have to pay them when that product sells. So that's another way. And so if you can work with another family member, and even if you get a truck or you can rent a U-Haul to go pick up this stuff one day, then you can be able to, then you guys can make money together. And so there's many ways and many platforms if you're working in conjunction on how you can make money with working with community. So you always want to see if there's an approach where you can always work together with other people to help build your income together, because there's only so much you can do by yourself. And many of us get in a bad financial situation with our credit because we don't have help. You know, we don't have the cash flow, or you're a single person, as I was a single mother. And if you're not married or you're not in conjunction, if you're divorced or whatever your situation is, you're one income down. So see how you can partner up with somebody else, and maybe you both can have a situation where you can work together and increase your income. And another way that you can think about that is also with your credit, making partnerships. We talk about a lot of times even piggybacking on credit cards. I'm on Diamond credit cards as an authorized user. She's on mine. I'm on, spouses. You need to be an authorized user on your spouse. They can be on yours. And if everybody have good payment history and working together, you're building up credit together. Actually, my brother Mike on here, I'm on my sister-in-law credit cards as an authorized user. I was on her credit cards as an authorized user. I'll be on his. If one of them get a relationship, a banking relationship, this is how we work as a family. Not people are right with their credit. We're paying our bills on time. Or if somebody is going to come up short, of course, we're going to pull for somebody else to help them pay that too. So if anybody having a financial problem, if you're right and piggyback, we never had those issues, but I'm just saying you want to make sure you tell other people if they're riding on your credit cards. But if they get a relationship, or I get a credit card and they need a relationship, that's how you get in. Actually, I was living with Mike, and that's down in VA. I had an assignment I was doing down there. That's how I got into the Navy Fed. That was my plug in the Navy Fed. I was living with him. So that was how I got in my Navy Fed, even though my husband is a veteran. But that was before me and my husband got together. I had got into Navy Federal through Mike. And so if somebody have a relationship in your family and you're strategizing, talking about these things, you're bringing the other person in. And then my mom, that, back with her, we were together, boom, that's how she got in. And everybody, try to leverage and try to work together. So you want to strategize that out. I do understand not everybody in your family you can play that game with, but sometimes educating your family, you being the one bringing them on lives like this, and once they get the understanding on how the credit system works, then they'll value their credit more, They'll have more understanding on not making so many reckless decisions, and then you can build together much faster. I'm riding on my daddy credit card. I've been riding on my diamonds on my daddy credit card. I was on my mama. I told y'all that's how I got my house. My mama put me on her credit card. That's how I built credit. I didn't know she was doing it. My daddy got long credit history. So people, a lot of times, I have people say, "Oh, y'all always, uh, you riding off your family." No, it's not riding off your family. It's working together. It's working together. Like this whole independent mindset needs to be dissolved. This is why people are struggling, because they want to be so independent. And where is that coming from? Like, is that better for you in the long run? And what good is it, as somebody just said, building wealth? How it's building wealth? What good is it to build all this wealth and then you pass away and leave it to your family members that have no idea how to manage it? So it's good that you work together or educate the people, especially you leaving this stuff too, because you don't want to do all this sacrificing in your life and have these good behaviors and then leave it to people that didn't work, didn't know how to manage it, and blow it as soon as you go. So what is the point? So it has to be a continual education and working together. And this is how you can build your income. Also, make sure if you're living in homes together, read those credit applications. There's ways, it'll say household income. Make sure that you're reading that, even if it's a person like your child, if they're 21 or under 21, many of times they can add you as their parent, use their income. If they're living in their house with you, they can use your income in order to get approved for credit cards. Not saying that you're on the card as a co-signer. No, just because they're in your house, your household income, if you're that parent and you're making both parents in the house, and they can add that on that credit card to get approved and to help them build their credit, they can do that. But of course, we already know with our younger people, as us ourselves, we're not shaming them. We didn't know how, credit card works. We want to make sure if we're doing that for our kids, that they know how to manage credit so they're not in a worse situation than when they started. So also adding them on as authorized users. A lot of times I was adding on nieces and nephews a lot of times because I had that information. They didn't know that they were adding on, and I didn't tell them. A lot of times you just got to know family members. You can read who's responsible, because my daughter Faith, she didn't know and went out there and Ultra Beauty, and how they tell you, hey, you can get a discount just applying for a credit card. She didn't know she had good credit, because I've been building her credit and got approved for the credit card. And then she came back, hey, I got that. I said, wait, what? And I understood. I said, no, call them back and tell them you don't want this credit card. You don't need this for beauty products. So a lot of times you got to make sure we're educating these kids, and sometimes not always telling them, because they'll run out and get a car or something like that they're not prepared for. So these young people that you're dealing with, everybody in your family on where they are in their growth, so some you can add them on and just make sure that you're watching over them, because a lot of times they're young. They don't understand how credit works, and they don't understand how detrimental this is. But instead of letting them get it out the mud and go through years of trying to learn, it's great if you can build their credit score and they can get a home, or they can get, if they need a car, they can have that car or an apartment. But of course, we want them to try to focus on more assets if we can. Another big thing that I tell people, I was a single mom. I learned this. You guys, one of the cheapest ways that I secure my investment, and I talk about it because I believe in it, Booyah Silver. Silver is one of the cheapest way to actually to safeguard or help secure your economic power. Because if y'all didn't know, I've been making it, they're just printing this money out of thin air. They're just hitting a printer press. And this is why you guys are working, going to your job, shutting down subscriptions, and still don't understand why I can't make it. You're not going out, you're not spending any money, you cut off the DoorDash, you're doing everything responsible, and you like, dang, I just can't seem to get ahead. That's because the reason why everything seemed to go up is because they're printing and putting more money in the system, and your purchasing power of your dollar is going down. It's just like all of us who used to go to the bar back in the day, or if you go to the bar now, if you pull up and they got them drinks watered down, what you going to have to do? You got to buy more and more drinks because they're putting ice or they're watering down that drink. That's the thing they're doing to your money. They're watering it down. So if you're not getting to wealth building assets, and especially leveraging your credit, not to get more liabilities, but make sure that I'm making moves to get assets. It's like playing Monopoly. So make sure, one thing we do, even with our blended family, with my husband, daughters, and we play Monopoly. I make sure that they understand Monopoly is a very good game to teach people about life and about investing. That's how life is. You start, everybody have the same money and currency to work with, but what decisions are you making when you're on that board and when you see that opportunity? You buy the land, I buy this one, I buy that one, I'm making strategies to get all three, then throw a house on this joint. And as people are landing, they're paying you rent. It's a whole system. You're buying, or you skip over buying the electric company or investing in the railroad company. And as the game go on, if you're the person that's always using that paper money and not investing while everybody else is investing, and that's why it said monopoly, you have the alike companies and all of that, they're investing. Pretty soon you're going to be kicked off of that board. You're going to lose the game if all you're doing is waiting for a paycheck to pass go. And just like with Monopoly, those things, hey, you owe a tax bill. You put that chest. Oh, you went to jail. And sometimes them bills get on your behind so bad, they done locked up the board. I don't know if y'all played, and you like, I'm just going to sit right here in jail. I'm going to be institutionalized because they is jacking me up out here on the board. I understand. And it is true to life. This is why some of those brothers and sisters that go to jail, just human beings go to jail, and they start to learn, I got three hots in the cot. It is easier than in here than real life. That's how it worked with Monopoly too. If you don't invest right before the board get bought up, life is going to give you that 1, 2, 3 punch, and you're going to be off the board. So it's the same thing that you need to think about with your financial life. As you're getting your paycheck, is there little simple things that you can invest in? And like I said, silver, um even right now, when I was buying this starting, and I was telling people in my groups, it had dropped, I believe it was like 2018. Silver had dropped to $11. And I always faithfully, I was taking my girls, even teaching them, going to the coin shop. Give me your pennies, save your pennies, and then we'll cash in their pennies. And I gave them just silver coins, that we're going to go here and get silver coins instead of holding on to these pennies. And so I would do it physically, take them there. But with Quicksilver, Ricardo, he was on here. He was the one that introduced me. And this was something I was doing anyway. I would just save part of my money, a percentage of my money, and I would buy silver coins. it was just easy for me to do. And God knows now, I moved over to a lot of gold. I'm not telling people y'all can start off from gold from the rip. I understand. I was a single mom, so this is what I was doing. Even if I got a coin a month and as my income, I would take a percentage out, make sure, hey, if I got paid every week, hey, put $25. At the time, like I said, silver was about 11. It had dropped to $11. I said, oh, they up there, because they be playing with these markets. I said, they ain't gonna give us none of this silver. They can't even produce it for $11. We all was pulling up. All those that know about silver and precious metals and commodities, they wasn't trying. They had stopped the production. They knew they were lying. They wasn't, so they were selling it for $14 at, because spot price, if y'all don't know, with silver or commodities, with gold, platinum, you have to look at the daily, what they call spot price. So if it's at $11, you can never get it for $11. That is not going to happen. That's what the dealers get it for. Just like that sticker price there, when you go and look at the car and it says that the manufacturer price, you can never get it at that. You can't get it at that price. I work for Ford. We can get it close to that price on the A plan, but you're not going to get it at that price. You'll get a little discount, but you're going to pay at least $1 or $2 above whatever spot. And if you're paying $1 or $2, that's a good deal. So understand, we were buying it. I was buying it at tons on the cheap. And now if you look at silver today, silver is up, I believe now at $37. And I was buying this forever for $18, $15. And when you look at this, you guys, you can trade it in. This is real currency. So y'all to get the understanding, Robert Kiyosaki talked about this, and he talks about it, how him and Kim bought their first house with their down payment with silver, and they were having bars of, now bars is a little more heavy. I don't, and I'm going to break this down on a video. I get currencies. Like, I don't get what they call rounds. So there is generic silver itself. I don't get the silver rounds, the generic. Some people get what they call numismatic. They love to collect, and it's just like collecting cards. I got baseball. I got basketball collector cards. It's like collecting cards. You might, get something that's going to be worth a whole lot one day, or you just like the beauty. I don't do it for that. I will get some if I see some, because silver is very pretty, just to have it. It is, to have it. My dad used to collect it back in the day, and I used to feel like DuckTales with Scrooge McDuck swimming around in his money. But you have different types of currencies. So even with me, other ones like Cougarans, this is South Africa. I tend to get just units of currencies. I think I might have another one is the Maple Leaf. That is the Canadian. So I try to stay into currencies. I do stay away from kind of Chinese currencies, because a lot of them, they did find out they had some fake stuff up in there. So I try my best to stay with like the Perth Mint. This is Australia or British. So I try to stay into certain currencies if I'm going to buy, because this and Cougarans are very popular, though. Cougarans can be a little expensive, but the American Silver Eagle, which is this, it's going to be a little bit higher, because the American currency is some of the valuable currency. So this is always going to be a little higher. But when it comes down to Quicksilver, they'll send you, if you set it, they have a wealth building. They take it out of your account, and you guys, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go easy right here, because I don't want to jack nobody up. I'm gonna go easy. I actually buy my silver off of my credit cards. I'll say it again. I buy my silver and my gold off my credit cards. They do allow you to use your credit cards. And so Also, as I'm trading out my wealth with my credit card and pay it before the due date, I'm getting points. Okay, because I'm buying at this stage in life as I grew in wealth. Okay, I'm switching out a nice sum of Montees. So why would I let my points go to waste? So I put it on a uh particular credit card. Um, I don't want to trigger nothing, but for them to find out, I put it on and it's not that I'm manufacturing spending. I'm getting my stuff. But I'm getting points. So the points with that card go for flights that I have and go for other things, vacations. I'm adding on points. So this is another part of thinking about how you can build wealth or use even points for your benefit. So if you have family members that's doing this and y'all all on one card, so like my platinum American Express card, if I'm paying it with the gold, if I'm buying my gold and my silver on that, and I'm spending well over a couple hundred or close to 1,000 a month, I will want that for my points. And if my other family members is doing something the same thing and they're authorized users, we all are building points together and paying it off. So is that for everybody? No, I understand not everybody maybe might not be on that time, but that's another thing that you can think about. So now you're building and saving wealth with getting silver and gold, and you're building points every month. I don't see how that can get better than that. That's a gem for y'all. Y'all hold on to that, because I drop a bomb for DJ Kloof should drop a bomb off of that. You can use that to build that. But if you are not cash flowing to that point, you can just go ahead and take it straight with a debit card out of your bank account. And you can start with one coin a month. And right now, one coin a month for the wealth building product, they'll adjust it. If you set it for $50, they're going to send you, if you get two of these in 1 month, you get it. If the price go up, you might get one, or whatever you choose that you're buying. It just automatically come to you, and it's just automatic. And it's like some of that money, just like your 401k. Believe it or not, you guys, the more you put it away, you ain't missing it. You'll spend what you spend on here, $37 at Popeyes to kill yourself and eat garbage. Like we're spending some of these little investments that you're making, and people will look like, well, why would I do that? You throw this money away at McDonald's and Starbucks to eat something that's poisoning yourself. I mean, think about it. Just think about it. Even if you never cash it, you collect enough of it, your kids, then that's something for them if they want to cash this out, because you can cash these out up to $10,000, you guys, and it doesn't trigger anything. You're not paying taxes on this whatsoever. It's currency. So you can go ahead and trade it out right at your local coin shop. So don't think, hey, I'm going to have all this. No, you go right there. They'll take it. They sure take it, and they just go ahead and redeal it with other people. This is why Warren Buffett and all these other investors now, and people say Costco sold out of gold, because when you have unstable markets, like in the stock market, everybody move to commodities. They go to gold and silver. A lot of times gold is premium, but that's why you're seeing now, you're talking about ETFs that, investing in gold ETFs. I'm not doing all of that. I need access to my stuff. I don't want a part of a part. I don't need all of that. I need to be able to pull up to my investments, or to gather my investments wherever they may be when it's time to get to them. So I can many times get some liquidity. It was times was hard. Money fell short, baby. Silver paid my mortgage. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Went over there, cashed it out, got that, and it you paid my mortgage on some of the stuff that I have stored up because I've been doing it for a long period of time. But don't let me sell it on you. I'm just giving you an idea. A lot of people that are those that invest in this, you have a real belief in it. And sometimes if you don't go out and you don't study it, I encourage everybody before you buy, go and learn. Somebody contacted me and was asking about this, and I send them a video so they can understand it. If you want to get a real good understanding, Mike Maloney is one of the best that talks about it's, if y'all want, I think I can drop it. It's called The Hidden Secrets of Money. If you, it's right here on YouTube. Let me I will, at the end of this, I'm going to drop that link. If you want to understand why gold and silver, I think he did the best explanation. He did a whole series on this, and this was 12 years ago. Peter Schiff is another big one. Um, y'all, it's a lot that um just knowing on that. And I think they're both living in Puerto Rico. Um, with their investments, and that's just a move itself, because a lot of people moving to Puerto Rico, other US territories, because you're not getting hit with state and federal tax. I think federal tax is like 4% over there, and you can fly back and forth to the United States. If you're not focusing on a lot of this stuff financially, and I know a lot of people are distracted, there's moves. I think too, a lot of people don't understand. Oh, this might be a little whoo chippy. Let me start here. I'll start here so people can understand. There's places like Egypt, or their strategies of people getting and going to Colombia and making investments. Like Egypt, if you buy real estate for 300,000, you can get dual citizenship. Okay, they'll give you citizenship there. If a lot of y'all know Guyana, it's offering 400,000 US American dollars. You can get, I believe they offer, I believe residency, not so much citizenship, but you can get residency. I think Colombia, making certain investments, you can get dual citizenship. Now, the reason why people are doing that, because if you bust that move over here and I'm living over here on this side of the world, and you might have to stay over there, because if the IRS see you making payments there, you need to balance that out. That's neither here nor there. You'll talk to your accountant about that, because I'm not your accountant. But if you ever get audited, they will see where you were at when you were swiping that card or your bank account. But those people go over there. A lot of y'all hear about Thailand, so people ain't paying taxes over there. Okay, they're not paying taxes here like that. Federal tax. Okay, because sometimes tax liability is getting at you. Okay, and I'm going to tell the truth and shame the devil. If Elon Musk, the richest man in the world for his betterment right now, moved up out of California, you might have to think about something. I'm just saying, he could afford to live there, but for his betterment, if Jeff Bezos left Washington to go to Florida for his own betterment, and these people could live wherever they want, do that make you think about maybe? Because a lot of times the money that you're spending in taxes and cost of living, you can reinvest that somewhere else. And so a lot of people use that strategy of having dual citizenship to invest in other places so they can sidestep some tax burdens. But you have to be of a mindset too, if you're making and really serious about making money. So one of the things that you always want to remember, if you're making strategies to make money, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Okay, I'm going to tell you, Sister Sherry will tell you that real quick. It's about how much you keep, because IRS, If you owe them that taxes, it's probably more than that credit card. So part of it, whatever you're doing, if you're about to really get that paper, you want to look at also tax strategies so you don't end up like some of these rappers. They hit it big and then in debt to the IRS. So when you're talking about other countries, they don't give away citizenship for free. Let me say it again. You're not running your butt up in there competing and being broke. Okay. You're not coming up in their country broke, competing with their citizens. Okay. You're not going up there broke unless you're breaking off some paper, or unless you coming to add to and not take away. And it's a lot of things that people don't understand because they think socially, but they're not thinking about financially, because it is not beneficial for them to have you come over there broke and compete with their own citizens. How that ain't helping. They want you to drop some paper off in their economy. Moving on to why people don't understand about that Trump gold card, green card. Y'all don't know, most countries ain't gonna let you come up in there broke. Am I saying it's right or wrong? I'm saying that's pretty much the standard, but a lot of us living here think that everybody could come up here and be broke. That is not reality. That is not how other countries work. Canada, for citizenship, you got to come up there, and for residency pay $200,000. Ain't nobody letting you come up in here broke. You got to break some paper off. So I'm just trying to make y'all aware. Do I tell this is right or wrong? No, this is what it is. It's called building an economy. And so if I don't let y'all know this how things work, and you sitting around folks that's not on that time and listening to the shade room and what just happened with Remy Ma and Papoose, you might miss some key points. And one of the key points is, think about, can you get you on some of that citizenship? Maybe, baby, you should look at that, especially with all my folks getting close to your retirement. Maybe your pension might go a little bit farther if folk ain't taking all this money from you. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out here. We're talking about how to increase your wealth. And part of a dollar saved, as my brother Mike would say, is a dollar earned. If you can save some tax dollars, you ain't got to earn more. So it's not about how much you make, baby. It's about how much you can keep, how much you can sit on. And some of y'all need to go ahead and strategize with your pension. I'm not trying to colonize nobody else. I'm just saying some of these countries are saying, hey, come on over here. I'm not saying big. They inviting you to come and drop a bag off or come and get some paper over here, because we need some investments in our economy. We're looking for partnerships. If it is possible, maybe if it sit right with you, you could be a partner in some of these places. Okay. I'm just saying, I know some people that even from the military, they did their 21 years and they went to other countries. Okay. I know somebody in Tanzania, they had a program. The lady got a really off their pension, beautiful house. I mean, it looked like a little mansion, a compound. Now, are you staying there full time? I don't know. That's up to you, and on how you feel. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, how things run, the light situation. But people said food is better. Like the food is fresh, and we got a lot of like our food holding longer than what they said natural food hold. So it might help your life expectancy. What do I know? But I'm just saying, thinking not outside the box, but start to explore different ways to better your life. Don't let them keep running up the paper and just keep printing, because you might have in your 401k right now $1 million, but every time they print, they're cutting your retirement in half to 500,000. They print again, you're down to 250,000. And now we wonder why we see all our seniors greeters at Walmart. It's a shame that you got seniors competing now with teenagers at McDonald's. It's because of what's going on with the currency situation. And they don't teach you this in school. They don't even teach you this in college. Even with Diamond, with her business degree, she said they never talked about that. They never talked about credit. And they don't teach all of this. They teach a lot of things, and a lot of things are left out of the education system on purpose, because when you see how things are set up, your schools are set up like factories, because the wealthy set that up, Rockefellers, for your kids to be worker bees. That's why it's no in between. It's either pass or fail. That's like a factory job. Okay. And you sit there, the bell ring, you get up, you go to your next station, the bell ring again. It's time to go home. That is why it's set up. So when I tell y'all red or blue, neither is for you. And a lot of people do a lot of fight, and they get a little trigger when you talk about this. And they're like, ooh, ooh. And somebody just said, school to prison pipeline, going on and trading. I wouldn't get too triggered, but just look at the statistics, especially with melanated boys. Okay. A lot of them on how with it being a female dominated, certain, okay, complexion. Okay, I'll just put it there. Female dominated certain complexion. A lot of them are being targeted, okay, as bad behavior when boys operate sometimes and think differently, okay, or behave differently. So even as a parent, even with certain medications, they had that with special ed back in the day. A lot of them was moving a lot of you know, Black children, and school was getting more money by doing those IEPs, labeling your kids a certain way. So if you now in those eras, yeah, you might have had to physically go to a library. That information wasn't out there for you. But now we have social media. Now you can get this information. Social media itself, it's ways to make money. And maybe we'll do a little topic just dedicated on ways to make money off of social media. But I would love for you guys to make sure that you are spending an hour focusing on ways to increase your income. Because if you search out that information, seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. Ask and it shall, no, it's ask and you shall be given. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door. No, ask. Yeah, yep, that's it. The acronym is still ask. So yeah, ask and shall be given. Seek and you shall find, and knock and the door shall be open. You do have to put your due diligence, and a lot of this stuff on social media is marketing to you anyway. Maybe you should look into this is my realm of knowledge. All of y'all are being paid right now at a job because you have a certain skill set. Can you leverage that skill set and your knowledge on helping somebody else creating a service, or even affiliate marketing? And you can work together in doing that. So it's different ways. Please just take this, because if you can focus on your income, it's going to help with your credit. I haven't met a person yet, and I say this all the time, that ever say, you know what, I'm just going to jack my credit up today. Nobody do that. Either they lost a job, they got sick, a spouse passed away, something traumatic happened and they weren't able to pay their bills. It's a cash flow issue. Many of times it's either a cash flow issue or education issue on how the credit system works. So if you can just spend an hour of your day, you are what you eat, as you are what you listen to. As Apostle Paul said, corrupt conversations distort good habits. If you want a good relationship, don't pull up on Love and Hip Hop. Do not. Don't watch those relationships. So do not watch them shows, Marriage Boot Camp, and none of that, child. Please, you don't want to do that, because what you take on is what you're going to become. The more you listen to, it's going to be better for you. And like people saying, hey, tariffs at 200%. Hey, it depends on what's being tariffs. That might work out for you. Might work out for you. Go and do a little research of what Canada is saying about what would happen with those tariffs. It ain't, a lot of y'all don't understand. The United States is a big market. We can grow all the food for us, to be honest. We don't need to import food. Canada, places like that is very dependent on us for food. A lot of our food go up there because it's cold up there. I'm from the UAW. I was a UAW rep, the auto industry. I started in Ford in 1997, and I was a rep, a UAW rep, elected rep. And I'm going to tell you about union contracts, baby. What did the auto industry in was NAFTA. I'm very much for, with my UA brother, UA brother, brethren that want them tariffs on them cars, because that's why I lost my job. Let's talk about it. Okay? That's why my plant got shut down at Ford in Edison. Metuchen, holla, UAW 980. Shoot. Okay. Now I'm telling y'all, some of this stuff, they're importing our jobs out of here. Now, is some tariffs could be, we have to watch. You gotta just watch it on some things. Like I said, red or blue, neither is for you. Always understand somebody done got paid to do something, because who's paying all these folks on both sides is billionaires. So a lot of them, even what I did with the child support thing, people playing with Elon Musk, all them kids he trying to play in his own best interest. If he's looking at things, or they might be looking at revenge, I don't know. But you ain't looking at me, because I ain't got no child support, and I ain't getting no child support. I just went on and went through the schools of hard knocks. Okay. I wasn't chasing nobody, because what I say, as Little Kim said, try to impress me with the 5G stones. I'll pay you 10 G's, brother, if you leave me alone. I'd rather just go ahead and work and get mine. Do I say that's for everybody else? Do not do that. But for me, I'd rather have my peace, and I'll figure it out. So you got to figure out what's best for you, because red or blue, neither is for you. It's what's for your peace and what's in your household. It ain't about what's going on in that White House. Most of the times, it's about what's going on in your house. If you pay attention to whatever the changes is, because no matter what you do, the party is going to change. But whoever those politicians, Trump, Elon Musk, one of his biggest donors, might not be the biggest, but Uline, that's another. If y'all know about credit, Uline is a huge donor to Trump. If y'all don't know, those business credit lines is Uline. This is why they working a lot for the small business. Uline is where you can get that business credit line and them not looking at your credit. So you're going to see a lot, because Uline was one of his biggest, one of those top donors. So you're going to see a lot of moves in small business and business, because they're manufacturers for boxes for business, different restaurant supplies. So what I'm telling you, Big oil companies also with Trump. That's why he said, drill, baby, drill. That's who's paying them on the blue side. Green energy, you know, climate change. That's who paying them on that side. So everybody, all of them is bought and paid for. If they taking money, and if they didn't take money, they was getting money for somewhere. Don't let nobody fool you. They all getting money. Okay. They all get money. And they all control opposition, to be honest. Even with what was Joy Reid? Sean Hannity, before she was about to get the can, which she eventually did, Sean Hannity wrote for her in her stead to get her job. Why would somebody at Fox, be over there writing? And he wrote a letter and she thanked him to help her keep her job at MSNBC, because it's just like wrestling. It's control opposition. We wouldn't exist if I ain't had nobody to fight with. They need that. It's political theater. I work for Ford. Guess what? They worked together. It looked like GM was their competition. It looked like Chrysler. All of them used the same rail line. There's a reason why a CVS is right across from a Walgreens. They getting the same distribution. This is why you don't see Lowe's too far from Home Depot. They kind of click up together. It looked like folk fighting, but it's partnership. They got sense enough. We gotta have sense enough to have some partnership. We gotta have sense enough that if we are in a room negotiating, y'all might be my people. Shut up. I'm not taking that deal. We might be working together to get the price down. You see what I'm saying? So we got to learn that a lot of this stuff is to get us emotional, and a lot of this stuff is emotional, but it's for corporation to look at social issues, not to give you the things that you might want on that job, like a higher hourly raise, because y'all printing money. And they all don't really have a problem with printing money. They don't care. They own all the assets. So the more money printing, when they said, oh, businesses in the pandemic made record high profits. Yeah, because they own assets. They own all the things. So soon as you print it, it doubled, because they're owning businesses, they're owning real estate, they're owning factories, they own stocks. Yeah. And they don't sit up there with that stock market. They don't cash out, they don't liquidate, they get a loan against that, they borrow. And that's a whole nother thing. Some things you don't want to pay cash for. Why would you pay cash for it? A lot of it is borrowing against it, is a tax write-off. That's why they do a lot of borrowing. So now I could write this off my taxes as an expense. If you pay cash for it, you can't write it off only one time as an expense for that tax year. But if I have payments over time, guess what? I get a write-off. That's why a lot of them, they're not buying Mercedes and Maybachs and a lot of that depreciate in value. No, they lease that stuff. Nobody should be buying that stuff. And to be, unless it's coming off of that lease and you're buying it certified pre-owned, let somebody else eat the depreciation. You go down to the Mercedes dealers if you ain't never been down there. They gonna tell you, ain't nobody financing this crap. Because anybody that knows something about something, soon as you drive it off the lot, it's dropping about 20 to 30,000. You'll be a dang on fool to do that. You better off by leasing it and giving them back to them, and then let them service and make it. And then they're going to turn around and sell it off of the pre-owned, certified pre-owned. Now, if you want to finance it, that's where you pick it up. But you're going to do your numbers, and you're going to find out, hey, how much is the mileage? And you're going to put a certain down payment. I'm talking too much game anyway now, but I did a video on that. But you better put down a certain amount down payment, because if you're picking up those cars, uh you ain't trying to keep it, but depending on the model too, and depending on the year, you want to put a certain amount down because you don't want to lose that much. Okay, because they depending on what you got, because the maintenance on those things get real expensive the older it get to repair that. So you're flipping out of that pretty soon. So you want to put enough down, so if I trade it in for another one, I'm not getting drug over the coals with this. I want to make sure that my comeback. So this is where I'm talking about everything should be a financial decision. A lot of times when I see people and I talk to them in my group, one thing I tell y'all, um, you want not to be impulsive. Most people, if you're impulsive, you're going to end up with bad credit a lot of times. Credit is just like a lot of these people talk about. Let's put it like this. It's the doctor, when a person got type 2 diabetes, giving you metformin. I could just tell you, hey, to boost your credit, do this. That's the metformin. But I'm telling you right now, real solutions. The real solution is for that person to control their diet and what they're eating, because that type 2 diabetes will go away if they control their eating. But a lot of people, their real problem is their way of thinking and their behavior. They're way too impulsive. And I tell people all the time, don't let a short-term solution become a long-term problem. Many of us don't know how to take a seat. If you can't sit down and research that, or if you don't have 3 times as much in the bank for anything I buy, at least you need double in the bank in order to pay that off if anything go left. And if you're playing it right and you set up and playing chess, and you got a strong pawn chain and protecting your pieces by having that cash flow, you shouldn't be paying for that anyway. I ain't never bought my car until I had something to pay for my car. I ain't never did that. I ain't never paid for a mortgage pretty much out of my pocket. I might have messed my money up, and I said, this one ain't trying to come through. So I cashed in some of my silver, but that was my backup plan. Hey, well, let me cash this in, and I'm going to have to cover this. You got to have your pawns protected. You want to have your pieces protected. So with all of this that I'm saying, if things go left, you kind of want to have a contingency plan. And so if you try to digest what I'm saying, this is why we do these things, because so you can have, because sometimes me just saying certain things may give you an idea, or maybe somebody else might give you an idea by hearing. Make sure you take an hour a day, if y'all can, as an assignment, and listen to some content about something you desire to do in business. Just listen to it. Go and follow somebody that's in that industry. If it's vending machines, and a lot of people contact us like, hey, I want to get lines for vending machines. That's what I want to do. I want you to go and watch people with vending machine content, because you're going to learn a lot there. And you might be inspired and say, you know what? Vending machines might not be my angle. Maybe this is a better angle. And iron sharpens iron. So go and listen to that. Like I said, corrupt conversation distort good habits. But if you go and listen to some people that are talking about different things, you might even find out with that vending machine example, hey, it's a vending machine conference coming up. And it's not that far. And that might be somewhere you want to connect with and go and meet people that do that business. Because some things, like Coco, who was on here, a handshake is really where all those deals is. You're not going to get a lot of deals online. You're not going to make a lot of connections. You can get a lot of information, but some of the real information is when you're in connection with people and they can give you the stuff that you are some real gems that you couldn't get if you wasn't there with them. That's where a lot of deals are brokered. So if anybody have any questions, can y'all drop it now? I did not have my assistant Dee Dee. I want to see if I can answer your questions or comments. If you guys have and if I missed it, drop it again, because I was not able to catch it. If y'all have any, I want to make sure. She's usually the operator. You see how we work together, but at the same time, you got to make sure you know about things yourself. Anybody have any questions? Somebody said I'm a 5-piece stone. Okay, I hear that. What if you want to expand, what's a 5-piece stone? Let me know. Anybody have any questions? Are we good tonight? No questions, no comments, no suggestions. Well, we will be back. Somebody said, that's because you thought as if I was listening to you, my credit score wouldn't be 7. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much. I want y'all to all just make sure y'all connect to something, like I said, positive that you want to do. If you have some inspirations, things that really kind of keep you going, something that you might even want to accomplish, almost like a vision board, something that's going to motivate you. Also work that in. Just keep your eyes on those things that you want to do, because one good thing about desiring something, I don't want to shut down your desire. Your desire will fuel you to actually go out and do that. So just look at something that you desire and say, hey, one day I want this. And I want you to explore how much that costs and what you can do to pay for that. So I don't want you to think that you got to kill your dreams. No, I don't say I can't afford that. No, how can I afford that? So I don't want y'all guys to think small, because some people like, well, I can't have that. I got to think, on a smaller level. And no, we want y'all to think big. You definitely want to think big. Keep your eyes on the things that you want. Let that fuel you. Let that desire build in you. And then you be like, you know what I can do? And always break that down, you guys. Another assignment we used to do even in the business coaching, and I'll leave y'all this. I want to leave y'all this idea. Tim Ferriss said it best. Imagine if you have a heart condition and you can't work more than 4 hours a day. That if you work over that 4 hours, you'll drop dead. What would you do to make your same salary that you're making a day at your job? How would you make that money in 4 hours? How can you replace that? So if you're making $100 a day, how could you replace that $100 a day in 4 hours? Think about that. And then once you think about what you do that, then drop it down to 2 hours. What would you do now to make that same $100 a day in 2 hours? And I want you guys to really think about that, because that's ways on how you can afford that. If it's a certain car you want, how much? Break it down to smaller. If it's let's say a Porsche. Say if that car, a Porsche, that you're looking at to lease or whatever, is $2,000 a month. Break that down into how much daily in order that you need to make in order to pay for that a month. And is it that big that you got to reach? It might be an extra 100, or when you start doing the math, $200 a day that you need to pay for that. So think about it. Don't always think about things on a small level. Start from, I mean, for a large level, think of it on a small level and things that you can do. It might be you just selling on the weekends. I know somebody, um, she passed away, but a friend of mine's, to pay for her son college, she was selling fish on a weekend, fishing, and was making $500 on a week. Well, actually, a day of them selling that. But that was her motivation. Thank you so much, TJ. I mean, JT. I'm sorry, JT. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. I appreciate it. And just think about that. You might have a special skill making cakes or whatever, and that might be the way for that thing that you want. How maybe you can create a business. If you sell fish or if you make fish real good, whatever people ask you, if they asking you to do it for free, they should be ready to pay. And I would go to her house and I'll buy it. Yeah, because I don't know, if y'all from Newark, I was stopping at Ambassadors. If y'all from Jersey, y'all know about Ambassadors chicken and fish. Child was going over there anyway. I might as well give her the money I was going to spend at Ambassadors, and her fish and Ambassadors is good. No, uh, Ambassador is good. So I cannot talk about Ambassadors, but her fish was real good. So when I'm telling y'all, make sure that you think about, you might already have a skill. And I want to give you guys some tips of some things going on, and we'll talk about that next week too. I got a video dropping on the way on how you can make $1,000 in 24 hours to give y'all some ideas. So we're going to keep the information coming just to inspire you, and maybe it'll spark something into you from something I have did in my past or currently doing. Maybe you can add it on to something that you're doing. So thank you once again, JT. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you, everyone. I really, really appreciate y'all that's been supporting this live. Let us know, give us some comments. If it's something you want me to talk about, just make sure you comment it, and we will make sure, or something that you want to know about, drop it in the comments even when the video is over, and then we can get to it and we can work on that live in this 90-day challenge. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Miss Miller. I didn't see you, Miss Miller, always showing up, and she's in my group. She's always sharing really helpful information. Miss Miller, I want to tell you, you're a blessing. Thank you so much. Everybody that's in the Elite Credit System group, thank you so much, because y'all, they bring a lot of information to me. And even this whole community, everybody that's supporting, been supporting my channel. And you said, please read my comment. Brandy, I'm sorry, can you comment right now? I'll wait around for your comment, Brandy, before I close down. Can you give me your comment? I'm sorry if I missed it. And somebody, are slicer coins considered silver? I'm not sure you can what slicer coins are. I'll have to look into it. But I tell you what is, you can also buy what's called constitutional silver. And that's older silver, like I believe before, is it 1974 or 64? It can be silver. Also, you can just get those old constitutional coins that is silver, like quarters and things like that. So, Brandy, I'm looking in your comment. Anybody else that have a comment? You said I never answered your questions. If you can, looking for not back forward, not backwards. If you can, okay. Thank you, JT. Is 1964. I knew it was. Thank you so much. And you said, oh, when you went in 1964, when the actual Africans got here. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I did call the tea in the shade right there. Okay, I got you. I got it. I know what you said when the actual Africans. Okay, I know. I feel you, brother. Um, the indigenous. I know we the indigenous. I got you. April said, I do a private message. If you can go to my website. I'll leave the link here, and all y'all messages, you can send it to my cell phone. Brandy, I was trying to wait around for your comment. And looking forwards, not backwards. I was trying to wait for your question so I can see it now. But if you guys got questions, always submit it to my website and I can answer you guys there too. And I'll just look real quick. Okay, I see it. Hold on. Looking forwards, not backwards said, what to do if you use your credit cards to fix your rental properties, now asset heavy and low credit scores. What I would do, I would try to pay those credit cards off in a cycle. So, take for instance, say I have my one credit card, if it's Navy Federal, it's due by the 5th of the month. So I would aim at that credit card because usually it's going to report to the credit bureaus 4 days after. So if it's around the 5th of the month where the payment due date is, by the 9th, it's going to report the balance to the credit bureaus. Now, after it reports the balance to the credit bureaus, then is stuck there for the next 30 days. So there has been time, if that's my nuisance credit card and you dump half of your paycheck or whatever on there, not only would it bring down the interest, but after it report, now you can use that if necessary. Now, if you have another card that comes right after it and it's got higher utilization, I'll aim for the cards that's closest to being maxed out because it'll ding you for more points and say, now it's due on the 15th. You can pay down on that. And then by the 20th, it's going to update. So if you see once it reports to the credit reports with a lower balance, your utilization should go down and you should see an increase in your credit score. And then the next card, you should see your credit score go up in points and decrease your utilization. That might be now the move to apply for a loan to pay off some of that other debt. So maybe playing that game. And what we do is tell people with our elite credit system, we use smart credit and its score boost. And that's what it does. It lines all your credit cards up for you and it tell you how much of a payment that you need to make on this credit card by what date and how many points you're going to get. So and you can kind of gauge it with the money that you have to pay, and they'll tell you how much to pay down, and then that might open you up for a loan. So hopefully at that point your score be high enough, and with your real estate you should get business credit at that point. If everything is good with your credit score, your personal credit, even if you PG, then you should be throwing that on those credit cards over there. Put that where? Back there. That's what I do with my real estate. Back there, you don't see it over here. You see it back there. So I throw it on those cards if I haven't. And if rent come in and I'm making payments, I'll make a payment out of the rental income that way. So hopefully that helps. If you want more, you can join the group, or you could just go over to mosey on over to Smart Credit and just sign up for that score boost, Smart Credit, and just use that, and you can see how you need to pay your cards off. And then once they get locked in, you got 30 days, maybe you can go for that loan. So hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully that helps somebody else. And I'm going to go and see, okay, anybody else? Okay, you said 5 prisms mean I'm all protected, all women, all children, the love, with love, truth, peace, and freedom and justice. Okay, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that, everyone. And but I'm a rapper and I ain't getting no. Okay, I got you. You ain't getting no vending machines. I hear that. But Coco Wade was talking, and maybe we'll have her back for all those that's in the music industry on how to make money off of your music. If you are into music, you can go and check that out. We had a panel and Coco was breaking that down, how she makes money off of her music. So maybe that'll help you also. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a safe weekend and enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you so much. Be blessed.